Awesome. Thank you so much, Funny. Thank you so much. That introduction was helpful. Hi, folks. I hope you can hear me and see me. I hope you can hear me and see me. Can I get a quick check in the chat? Awesome. I've got a lot of yeses. Brilliant. Before I get started, folks, how's it going? Are you in a hangover of AI? Or because in the past 2 days you have learned so much. So how are you doing? Like, awesome, excited, mind blown, great, brilliant, brilliant. And you know what? And I am here to take that even further, right? And interestingly, before 2 days, this was not planned. This session was not planned, and some of you might remember that I came on day zero, and I said hi, that I will be your co-host, and we thought like we should give as much value as we can, and we thought we are teaching you a lot of skills, right? You learned a lot of skills, and then we thought, personally, I have been able to leverage these skills, and I've been able to build multiple sources of income for myself using AI. And I thought it is a time where everyone should have multiple sources of income, and what if I can just share everyone how they can build side hustles using AI, right? And that was the thought, and we quickly curated content, and we thought we'll give that value, right? Now, quick heads up, this content, what I'm going to teach you, is something that you might not found exactly like that on the internet, because it is not a researched, well researched content. It is something that has worked for me. I've done it for myself, so it is completely real, completely practical, right? So how many of you are now interested, go ahead and learn that? How many of you are interested? Drop me in the chat how many of you are interested. Awesome, awesome. Brilliant. I love that energy, folks. I think like Funny has done a brilliant job by being your host and make you learn that all of that, how to be extremely excited like him. Brilliant. Cool. I'll quickly share my screen. Awesome. I hope you can see my screen well. Right. As you know, Pani has already told me I'm the Associate Director of AI Growth here, and I'm also the first founding member. At Outskill, had set up the India business, then started scaling the international business. I primarily focus on the US and Europe market, and I'm myself a practitioner and a teacher of AI. I've worked with a lot of brands. I've implemented AI solutions at Outskill and with a lot of brands globally, and help them, optimize their processes, sales process, customer support process, and a lot of things, right? So that's quick intro about me. Just few heads up, as I told, like things to keep in mind. You have already got accustomed that please be open-minded, respectful in the chat, keep taking notes, be patient, don't judge yourself, right? And like please be on your laptop, because I will be sharing my screen, and give your next 1 hour with 100% focus. Will I have your 100% focus? If yes, drop 100% in the chat. Drop 100% in the chat if I'll have your 100% focus. All right, cool. Also, I just love giving value. I just love giving a lot of value. Funny has already given so much value. I wanted to do more. So people who are going to spend time with me and stay till the end of the session, some resources I have prepared myself, which have been extremely valuable for me. I am going to share those bonus resources worth over $500, which has a list of side hustle ideas that you can start, how to make money with AI, all of that resources with all of you, right? I will share that with you. All right. With that being said, let me get started. Let's start the session. All right. So the big question is, how to make money with AI? What are the possibilities of making money with AI? Or what are the things that we can do with all the skills that we have learned? And I feel like it is extremely important, whether you want to start it or not. It is extremely important for you to be aware what are the possibilities, because so many of us miss opportunities just because we are not aware, right? So you should be aware, right? It will be useful for you or for someone around you, right? So that is the biggest question right now in the room, and let's start with that, right? And you know what, like Funny told me that this is me. I have over 110,000 followers across social media. I am a teacher, and people follow me for marketing and AI content, right? On LinkedIn and Instagram you can connect, and if you're enjoying the session, you can click a picture and put it on LinkedIn or Instagram and tag Outskill and me, right? So here's what leveraging AI has done it for me, right? So what AI has helped me achieve? Number one, it has helped me get speaking opportunities at top organization and institutions, right? I have been, this picture that you see has been taken in the LinkedIn event. LinkedIn invited me, in their AI and product launch event, and I was there, right? So I get speaking opportunities at top organization because I'm an AI expert now. Second, I do a lot of corporate trainings for top and MNCs, training them about AI. And you know what? I now charge $10,000 for a 2-day training, right? And this is my picture on the right side. You can see at Google's office, right? And the third thing which AI has helped me is it has helped me to set up my service and agency business in AI marketing services for clients, and I charge them $3,000 to $5,000 per client. Now I'm telling all of this not to brag. I'm just telling all of this to show you the possibility, the things that you can do, the things that I've been able to do for myself, right? The intention, someone asked that it is per month or per client per month, right? There are, clients which, are retainer, and there are clients which come for one time, right? For anyways, like I was just being very honest that this is not to, tell you or brag anything about. It is just a very humble display of the things that I've been able to do, and you can do as well, right? So now let me now, since I have got some credibility and some trust from you that I've done it for myself, so I can help you as well. Let me share few ideas that you can make, right? First thing, what you have learned, right? What you have learned in last couple of sessions is you have learned how you can generate images, video, how you can learn, how you can build custom GPTs, agentic workflows, and you learned about automation. And you know what? How we pick these skills? Each of these skills independently, not all of them you need to learn. If you master any of these skills, you can easily make over $10,000 per month if you mastered and offer that as a product or a service, right? So that is a possibility you can pick. Now, I will tell you three paths, right? Basis of which you can decide how you want to monetize your AI skills, right? And the three paths will be dependent on your passion, your skill set, and the amount of time that you have right now in your life, right? And you can choose a path basis of whatever aligns well with wherever you are. All right. Clear so far? I hope I'm not going too fast. I'm not too slow. I hope if it is clear, drop clear in the chat. If it is clear, I can see. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Love that. Awesome. Now, how many of you are passionate about building? How many of you like to build things? It's a business or a product. You have that knack for building things. How many of you are like that? Drop me in the chat. Drop me in the chat. How many of you are such, right? And just looking at the chat, amazing. Lot of people, amazing. So all the people who are passionate about building a business, right? Here is what you can build. Number one, you can build an AI agency or be a solopreneur or a freelancer offering these services. Now, if I tell you one of the hottest thing in the market is being having an AI agency. The reason is there's so much demand, there's so many people who want these solutions, and so less supply. There are so less people who are even aware about these things. Leave that, like how many of people are capable and knowledgeable to do it, right? So now, since you guys have spent, you are aware at least, right? So AI agency or being a freelancer or a solopreneur offering these service is one option that you can explore. That is number one, opportunity number one, right? And what is the first step, right? You can offer any of the services that you are keen on. We talk about creativity, AI for creatives, AI for custom GPT, bot building, agentic workflows, or AI for automation. Any of these things you can offer this service and easily charge per client $2,000 to $3,000, right? Depending upon the problem that you are solving. If it is a monthly recurring problem, then it can be monthly revenue as well. I will be covering a lot of the things already in the session. So hold your questions and perspective. We'll talk about and take your questions and have a discussion in the end as well, right? So if you decide to build an AI agency, the first step that you have to do is decide the offer that you want to, sell, and the pricing for that, right? I see some of the people are asking about how do we find opportunities. We'll get to that, folks. We'll get to that. Have some patience, have some trust, right? So step number one is this. Step number two is you don't have to think big, right? It is a contrarian recommendation that, advice that don't think big, right? Because sometimes when we think big and make humongous goal, that sometimes just stops us to take action, and sometimes we feel like it is not even manageable. So my recommendation is step two is make your goal very small, which is I only have to find 3 clients. I don't have to find 100 clients. I don't have to go crazy and like spend a lot of time. Think of the next step. Once you decide your offer and the skill, think of I only have to find 3 clients. Once you do that, you will be able to get to $6,000 to $10,000 per month, right? And if you have more time, if you want to scale this further, then you just focus on having 10 clients, 10 solid clients. You don't have to like find 50 people, 100 people. Some people say like there are enough agencies who are offering. Don't you think that there are 10 businesses in the world who would be willing to work, right? If you spend like next 15 days, you will be able to find even 10, right? So if you find 10, it can get to 25,000 to $30,000 per month a business, right? So that's one aspect. Right now I'm not going further how do you set up the processes of building an agency. Let me first cover up and show you the possibilities of it. So AI agency or being an AI freelancer is an opportunity, right? And you have to start with having like 3 to 4 clients. How to get clients, we'll come to that. Second, what if you don't have a lot of time? What if you don't have a lot of time in terms of running an agency or offering service? Because when you are running an agency or offering a solution as a service, you are getting return of your time, right? The amount of time you are spending. What if you don't want to run an AI agency? What if you want to build an AI product? How many of you would want to build an AI SaaS product? I call it micro SaaS. I don't call it like, you don't have to build a $1 billion SaaS product, a micro SaaS. How many of you are keen to build a product, a micro SaaS, right? A lot of people, right? Now I'll quickly show you. First, the biggest problem that we face when we think about, all right, I have the skill, I can right now build a product using no code and AI tools, do vibe coding, all of that. The biggest challenge that we face is what ideas we should build the product on. How many of you struggle to find an idea to build product on? How many of you struggle to find an idea, or you don't know that what ideas you should work on, right? Lot of people. I was there too, right? I didn't know like what ideas potentially could be big, right? And how can you, while deciding the idea, someone is saying chat gpt can get you ideas, but how do you know they have probability of working, or they are already solutions out there, someone has solved those problems, right? I'll tell you a very interesting way how I hacky way how I find, right? There's a website called Product Hunt, right? There's a website called Product Hunt, right? I'll show you. What is this? This is a website where every day new products get launched every day. And this is one, website I don't tell a lot of people. It's like, I need to keep, I keep all the few treasures to myself. But today, like, I have come to share everything that is there. So this is the website where every day people launch products, right? And this is where I also find a lot of new tools, right? So you come on this website, and you know what? In this, every day you can see products in different categories that you are passionate or interested to build products on, right? If you have finance expertise and you want to build a product in the finance domain itself, you can come to finance, right? For example, now I am coming to AI, right? AI is a category. I can come and see what are the products that are already launched, right? I can go and scroll and see there is like Deepgram. It is an AI platform designed for developers building voice push product, right? So this is a place where you can find ideas and even find new tools, right? And how you have to use this website. You come and you try to find what are the products that people have already launched. Now you might ask the question that, Uttam, if someone has already launched, then why do I need to launch that, right? The answer is that, one, the market is so big, right? There's always an scope to coexist, right? For example, there is Google Meet, but Zoom coexist. There are biggest these biggest competitors are there, but there are still players which are able to coexist. So there is, and the other reason why you can, take ideas from here, take inspiration from here, because once you see the ideas, your mind will start to work. You'll get inspiration. You'll get inspiration, and you can use this inspiration to make a better version of that. Right? Sometimes you will find a product, and since it is in your niche, you will feel like, oh, I can build this product even better because I understand the problem better, right? I understand the industry better. So it's a great place. You know what? Every day I come in the morning, I scroll and use this website to keep my mind working, to keep constantly be looking for ideas and inspiration to build products on. So that's step number one. Like you can see, some people have built very micro products, right? For example, you see AHA, the world's first AI influencer marketing team. King Sugi, put your sales tax on autopilot. Very cool tools, right? How many of you think this is cool? How many of you think this is cool? How many of you think this was an interesting approach to, be data driven, find inspiration, find ideas which have higher probability of working, right? You are not throwing a dart in the dark. You are being calculative, you are being data driven, and you are able to do market research faster. Cool, right? Now, after you find the idea, right, what you should do, let me, like, this is not on the slide, but I'll tell you, once you find the idea, how should you validate whether you should, go all in into building that product, right? How many of you want to know how you can validate the idea, right? At as minimal cost and time possible. There's a hacky process, scrappy process, but hacky process. You can do what? You build a landing page. You build a landing page of that product, of that offer, and you run ads on that. You can run just uh, you know $20, $10, $30 per day budget, and you run it for 30 days. Build a wait list, make people sign up for it, and then you talk to those 100, 200, 300 people, right, to understand the problem even better, to understand whether they want to pay for such product or not, or how much would they want to pay, or if you launch it, would they want to be in the beta list, right? That's how you can find your first 100 people who can give you feedback, because no one gives better feedback than the real customers in the market, before even building a product, right? Before spending a lot of time into building that product, right? With just by spending like 100, 200, $300. How cool is that? How powerful is that, right? How fast it can be, right? Imagine you have 10 ideas on the list and you don't know which one to start from. You spend $100 on each of those ideas, or top three or top five ideas, and that's how you tick off ideas and find the winner, right? In your mind, all the ideas would feel like $1 million ideas and feel like, you know what, these are the real ideas which people want and they'll pay for it. But when you go out in the market, you realize maybe it's a problem that I was facing. It's a good product, but people don't want to pay for it, right? You can do it with this approach, right? Powerful, isn't it? So that's that. Now, the third thing, when you find an idea, validate it, you just have to find 100 customers. You know what? You just have to find 100 customers to build a micro SaaS. And the power of building a product is, it is difficult to still scale yourself if you are doing just service, but it's easier to scale a technology. So if you find 100 customers, you can't manage 100 clients, but you can manage 100 customers in a product, right? Everyone paying you $20, you can have a $2,000 of recurring revenue, right? That's as small as it can get, right? And right now, I'm not talking about building a $1 billion business. Right now, what I'm trying to solve for, what I wanted to solve for myself was, how can I have multiple sources of income and build a side hustle, right, without spending a lot of time. And you only have to find 100 customers, right? You should aim for having 1,000 customers, right? And if you can get to 1,000 customers, which is also not a lot, you can get to $20,000 in revenue, right? Now, how many of you would want to know how you can get first 1,000 customers, right? We spoke about how to find ideas. We spoke about, okay, I found 5 ideas that I'm interested in, but I don't know how to validate or which one to pick. So I told you a hacky process. to validate your ideas. Now, Uttam, I validated the idea, I found the winner. But how do I find, my first 1,000 customers? Right? I've not got a lot of yes or me in the chat. I think not a lot of people want to know it. Shall I skip? Okay, I am getting a lot of chats. All right. So I'll tell you a secret website again from which I learned a lot about growth, right? It is called first1000.co. It is called first1000.co. And from here, you can learn for free how the biggest of the biggest brands in the past got their first 1,000 customers, right? Now, imagine when Airbnb came, that concept didn't even exist, right? People were not even aware. So, how difficult for them it would have been to get their first 1,000 customers? A lot, right? Because it's a difficult market to crack. And that's how, like, say, Tinder, Spotify, OnlyFans, Stripe, how did they find their first 1,000 customers? This is the website from where you can read these case studies and their whole process, right, for free. Is this valuable, folks? Is this valuable? First1000.co. If it is valuable, drop yes in the chat. Amazing, amazing. So you got to know that, I love, the concept of building micro products because, it won't require as much time as other things would require, but it can become a business and an engine on autopilot, right? So very powerful product hunt we spoke about. We spoke about, validating the idea by running, Facebook ads at a very small budget to validate the idea. And then we spoke about first1000.co, right? I think someone has shared it in the chat as well. That's amazing, right? Amazing, cool. So far with me, folks. Drop with me in the chat. If you are with me, I hope I'm not going too fast. I hope you are with me till now. I'm just looking at the chat. Brilliant, amazing, awesome, cool. Now, what if you might come to me, Uttam? You know what? I'm already working in a job. I have a family. I have a lot of other commitments which are already going on. I don't have a lot of time and I don't want to build or I don't know how to build. Right? How many of you are in that place? How many of you are in that place that Uttam, this sounds exciting. This is very interesting, but I don't have a lot of time right now, right? A lot of people, right? And I was in that place when I had to leverage my skills. I learned a lot and I was like, I've learned a lot, but what do I do with it, right? And I thought, all right, these are the opportunities out there, but I didn't have a lot of time. So I thought, how can I just get started right now? How can I start small and then become big, right? So this, next option that you can explore is offer consultation, right? So first option was working with companies and doing things for them. Second was to build product. The third is, if you don't have time to do things for companies, if you don't have time to build products and find customers, what you can do is you can become a AI consultant and advisor, right? uh, there is a huge opportunity for you, right? Especially for a lot of people with over 5 years of experience, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. There's massive opportunity for especially people like you, because you know what, you already have a lot of industry experience, whether you are a marketer, techie, product designer. Now all you need to do is add AI to that, right? Whatever industry experience, you don't have to reset and just start from zero in AI. You have to, whatever industry experience you have, you need to add AI to it to become more relevant again in your industry. And you know what, you will be killer. Because imagine, right? Imagine there are so many, 95% of the people are not aware about AI. 95% of the businesses have not still implemented or adopted AI in their process. And imagine you going to them and saying, you know what, I am a salesperson and I have cracked a code of building, optimizing sales process, which can improve conversions. I have found a way to build AI voice agents, which can be your salespeople on the pilot, right? Without you spending or hiring people, right? And I can help you do that, right? I can advise you do that, right? Everyone would be excited to have you, right? Whether you are a marketer, that's how I started. I started being a consultant to businesses, that you have your team. Let me just guide you. Let me just advise you how you can improve your processes with AI. That's how you can, start. And you know what? You don't have to do a lot, right? You only have to take out 2 hours on the weekend, right? If you take out 2 hours on the weekend and you spend 30 minutes with each client for 4 weeks or 6 weeks, you can have like a longer deal, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, or 12 weeks, right? For help them, advising them, consulting them. By just taking out 2 to 3 hours over the weekend, you can easily charge per client 200 to $500 per 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or an hour, however you want to price. And you know what? You don't have to do a lot. You just have to find 4 to 5 clients, 4 to 6 clients, uh, which have where you can have a deal of 4 calls, one call every week, or 8 or 12, and that can help you make 800 to $2,000 every week, right? It can help you do that, right? And boom, you have a consulting business, right? We started to look at the time that we have on a weekly basis, and then we realize, all right, every week I can at least talk to 4 people, right? And 4 people for 4 weeks can help you make $3,000 to $8,000 of consulting business, everyone, right? I'm not saying that it is very easy. It is going to obviously take some efforts, but it is also not as difficult as you might think it is, right? Because I have been able to do it, right? I started by advising and consulting people, right? And that's what, you can do it, right? Does that make sense? How many of you want to be an AI consultant or an advisor? How many of you want to be an AI consultant or an advisor? Right. And the reason why, like, I hope you got that perspective where I meant that you already have years of experience. All you need to do is learn AI so well that you can add, say, you can then speak, then you will have an edge. You know what? You will carve out your expertise and thought leadership and a niche of yourself. Imagine a IT person now having an AI knowledge as well. How relevant and powerful you will be when you talk to businesses. Imagine a marketer having AI skills. How knowledgeable and valuable and efficient you would be when you talk to businesses. Why would they not want to have you, right? And I know there would be a lot of people who are already consultant. Now, what you just need to do is have AI skills, and whatever you have been consulting, business consulting, and XYZ, you add AI layer to that, AI solutions to that. Now there could be some people that, Uttam, I can't talk to people, right? I just can't like sit and do consultation or advisory. There could be some people who are creative. What if you are someone interested in content? How many of you are interested in content, right? Content creation. How many of you are such people? Drop me in the chat if you are someone interested in content, right? I was one of those who didn't have a lot of time, so I started with a consulting business, and I was very interested in content, right? As I told, like, I'm already a content creator and a teacher, talking about all of these things on the social media, right? I was in that space. So if you are someone who is interested in content, then how you can build and monetize? Number one option that you have is you can start a faceless YouTube channel, right? Now you might be not interested in showing off your face, or it will take a lot of time. You need a studio. You don't need any of that. You build a AI workflow, right? Where you don't have to do anything, and you can build a AI YouTube channel. There are already so many channels which have just grown in last 1 year. Like one of the channels we even partnered with called AI Revolution. It has over 300K subscribers. It makes a lot of money from sponsorship, from YouTube ad revenue, and it has just grown in 1 year, right? By being a faceless YouTube channel, huge opportunity. It is slightly long-term game. And imagine now you have all the means, right? You have GPT to do ideation, scripting. You can have a workflow that creates, you don't even have to talk, right? You just have to build a workflow which can, talk about important topics that you are. So that's one opportunity if you are interested in content. Slightly long-term game, but it is worth giving a shot, and it can potentially be your business. Second is, if you are someone who's not even interested or can't even do anything related to video, you can build a business on writing, just on words, and you can build a newsletter, right? How many of you are not comfortable with video but with text, right? right? How many of you are not comfortable with video, but with text, right? Can do anything with text, right? That's where like LinkedIn, Twitter is for you. But LinkedIn and Twitter might not give you money directly. Building a newsletter will. And you know what? Using an AI process, I built a newsletter at Outskill. It's called Outskill with AI. You can actually subscribe to it as well. We send it 3 times a week, and you get free value as well, right? But you know what? I did it. I build this newsletter at Outskill, and that generates $30,000 revenue per month right now. And you know what? It has potential to reach $100,000, right? And we don't spend a lot of time. There are AI workflows which are helping us. Now, how do you monetize? How does newsletter generate revenue? Sponsorship. Just like how YouTube, there are brands who are willing to sponsor uh, YouTube channels. Similarly, there are brands who are willing to sponsor newsletter. You can read more about newsletter monetization. In fact, it is better, right? A lot of times from newsletter as from YouTube as well, because you can have multiple ads in the newsletter, right? So that's that. I will also tell you a tool that we use to run our newsletter. It is called Beehive, right? It is called Beehive. I will just quickly show you Beehive newsletter. This is the tool that we use to run our newsletter. It is one of the best tools that I have used, which are out there to run your newsletter. And interestingly, what happens is when you take their premium subscription, like obviously, like the subscription to send newsletter, they also send you sponsorship opportunities, right? Means if you are sending a newsletter to your community, it gives you monetization opportunities. Someone is asking about Substack. Yeah, Substack is great. Substack is free as well. But Beehive, since it is built for newsletter, it has a lot of more features, right? Which means that it also sends you a lot of, it helps you build a website of the newsletter. It helps you do a lot of things, has a lot of automation. So like when you pay, you obviously get better service. And one of the best feature that I like is that we get sponsorship, right? So if you don't have any network, if you are not doing outreach to find brands, it can still send you a lot of sponsorship, right? So that's what I have done at Outskill. This is not the newsletter that I run in my personal capacity as a creator, but this is at Outskill newsletter that I have built, and it has potential to get to $100,000, right? It has potential to get to $100,000. And the third thing is, if you don't want to do YouTube, which will long form content, 10 minutes, 20 minutes of video, if you don't want to write newsletter, you can build an AI avatar and create an Instagram channel, right? So that's what I've done. If I'll show you, if I go to my Instagram, right? If I go to my Instagram, uh, right? I have over 52,000 followers. And if I show you, the videos, if I talk about, say, this video, entire video with one image, here's how you can do it. Go to this website, click on create, and select. This whole video has been generated using AI. And you know what? This is a process that I have built. There's a bot which generates idea. There's a bot which thinks like me so that my perspective is still out there in the content. There's a bot which writes like me, and then obviously I add my flavor to it as well. And there is an AI avatar which is trained on my model, which shoots content. It is trained on my voice, and I create videos on the fly. Now someone might ask that, how do I make money with that, right? So since I have audience, see, wherever attention is, money follows, right? Wherever attention is, money follows. Since I create content, I get a lot of sponsorship. I generate advertising revenue, right? You can monetize Instagram in two ways, right? Either there could be brands who can reach out to you, would ask you to promote their product, right? Or what you can do is you can reach out to brands and ask them, like you can offer them to create UGCs, right? UGC is nothing, user generated content. If you go on my page, I create a lot of tutorials of tools teaching people. There were a lot of brands who came to me, said that you are anyways, teaching a lot of tools. Why don't you try our tool? And if you like it, you can create a tutorial on that and we'll pay you, right? So that's how you can generate revenue from Instagram as well. It could be brand sponsorship, it could be UGC. And the third thing is obviously you can do affiliate as well, right? Since you are getting a lot of traction, you can become an affiliate partner of a lot of tools, and you can start to promote that, and you can start to have consistent source of income as well, right? Does that sound valuable? Has it been valuable so far, folks? Has it been valuable so far? Drop boom in the chat if it has been valuable. I'm just looking at the chat. I'm looking at the chat on the left side. That's why you might see. Awesome. I hope I'm not boring you folks. Because you saw a lot of energy from Webhub, you saw a lot of energy from Funny, right? So I hope I'm not boring you and you are not sleepy after a long, long day, right? Awesome. I love how sweet and kind audience you have been. I was hearing from Funny and looking at the back end as well, how sweet audience you were, right? How kind you were throughout, and you are continuing. Awesome. Let's move, right? Sounds very easy, all of that, right? It is. But now the real question is, you have the skills, you have decided what you had the skills, you decided what you want to sell, how you want to, build a side hustle, but but the biggest question, where do we get clients from, Uttam? Where do we find those people who would want to, take consultation from us, take services from us? How many of you have this question? How many of you have this question? Uttam, all of this is great. But where do we find clients? Without that, everything is useless, right? A lot of people, right? I knew. And I was in that situation again, right? I was like, all right, I have, skills and I have clarity, but where do I find people who would like to pay to me, right? So I'm glad you asked, right? Let me show. The first thing that I will introduce you to find clients is my 3-step LinkedIn blueprint to make $10,000, right? Uh, and what is that blueprint and why it is LinkedIn blueprint is because LinkedIn is my favorite platform, where I feel it is favorite because I feel LinkedIn is the place where decision makers hang out. It is a place where founders, C-suite managers, people like you hang out and chill, right? And the quality of the conversation and content that is out there is extremely, extremely valuable, right? So that's why LinkedIn is my favorite platform. And how do you turn LinkedIn into a money making machine? That's what I have done it for myself, right? So how do you turn LinkedIn into a money making machine? I'll tell you a 3-step process, and I'll show you as well. First step is leverage LinkedIn Goldmine, right? How do you do that? Step one is to identify your target audience, right? Now you might ask me, Uttam, what is target audience, right? All my marketing friends would know what is target audience, but rest of the people, you might ask that identify like what is target audience. Target audience is the target group, people who you think can potentially be your customer or your client, people who you should talk to, right? For example, if you build a AI agent for real estate people, who would be your target audience? It would be people who are running a real estate business or are, or are brokers, right? Those would be your target audience. Or if you are offering an AI automation for just SaaS businesses, right? Who would be your target audience? People working at SaaS companies. It could be founders, marketing managers, operations managers, or HR managers or training managers, XYZ in SaaS companies. So that's your target audience. So once you decide what service you want to offer as an agency or as a consultant, then you identify who I could help. Right? Just think about who you could help, who could find the maximum value from you, and they become your target audience, target group, right? I hope I was able to explain in as simple language as I could. That's number one. Once you identify, the second step is to optimize your LinkedIn profile. What does that even mean? What does optimize your LinkedIn profile even mean? Right? So let me quickly show you. Right? This session is not a LinkedIn mastery session, but I still give you behind the scenes and real what does it mean? Optimizing your LinkedIn profile simply means making your LinkedIn profile complete. Now, you might say, what are the aspects that we need to complete, Uttam? I already have a good LinkedIn profile. But you know what? 95% of the people don't have good LinkedIn profile, right? So I'll show you what does a good optimized LinkedIn profile means. It means first it starts with having a very professional, clear headshot image, right? Which people can see in the feed as well, right? So having a clear headshot. Second, having a very, very clear headline or a headline so that people can get to know what do you do, who you are, and it can establish your credibility as well. Like if you can read, and some people, you know what mistake do they make? They add everything that they have done in their life. They had add in their headline that I went to this college year, like all the companies. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. How I have written here: become top 1% in AI with me. Follow me to learn. Associate Director, Global Growth. The first part tells me what value do I provide to people, and then I have written a call to action: follow to learn, right? And then I have written my position, which can also establish credibility. So I have a very simple. For example, if someone chooses to become a automation expert, you can write, I help SaaS businesses automate their business with AI, right? You can do that. You can write, and then you can put a comma, and you can put a slash, and then you can add the brands that you have worked, or any other thing that you would want to add, right? So having a very, very clear headline, that is the second aspect of completing the profile. The third aspect is having the right thing in your cover picture. It is a real estate of the LinkedIn profile, and most of the people don't use it. Right now, if you see my cover picture, it very well tells that become top 1% in AI, and it has a CTA book 1v1 call with me, right? It has brands also where I am featured, and it has an image where I am, speaking. It shows, establishes authority that, I'm a speaker as well, right? So, I have like very clear headshot image, the headline, and cover picture. What's next? Right. Next, you should have like your about section. It's your story where you talk to the people who come on your page, and you tell them about your story, your journey, right? And then one of the most underutilized section is the featured section, where people don't utilize. Right now, if you see in my featured section, I have put all the major links where I would want to divert my traffic to business. When people come on my profile, either they book a consultation call, or they inquire for a corporate training, or they invite me as a speaker, right? That's exactly how I've turned my LinkedIn into a gold mine, because everything that I'm doing is translating into some sort of business and an opportunity and an outcome in some form or fashion, right? Then obviously after that, you can fill your experience section with the things that you have done, and you can add the projects, you can add the skills, you can add the testimonials, recommendation if you have. Now you might ask, Uttam, why is it even important? I have LinkedIn profile for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. I've never paid attention to it, right? How many of you are like that? How many of you are like that? That, what, Uttam, I have 10 years, 20 years. I made the profile, and you know what? It is just, I never felt the need, right? A lot of people. I knew, right? Now, the reason why it is important, it is like your website. It is just like your website, because whether you have a website or not, it is like your website, which talks about you, right? Which tells about you. And this is the place, it is a digital resume or a digital footprint of you, right? And you would want to have good first impression before people talk to you as well, or not, right? And you know what, I have 62,000 followers. You don't need to have a 62,000 followers, right? You can do these things with 500 followers as well, right? When I started doing, I didn't have a lot of followers, right? Now, someone might say website is better. Someone is already saying website is way cooler, but you know what? It takes a lot of time to build a website, or you would have to host, you would have to pay for a domain and XYZ. You don't have to go through all of that pain, right? There is another reason also why it is better to optimize your LinkedIn profile. than having a website is because when you reach out to people on LinkedIn, when you try to build your connection on LinkedIn, they will not go to your website first. They'll visit your LinkedIn profile before even responding to you, right? So if you don't have a complete LinkedIn profile, they'll just, don't form a good impression, or they won't even reply to you, right? So it's like your first impression. That's why, right? That's why before even having a good website, it's important to have a complete LinkedIn profile, right? And if I show you what now LinkedIn, how LinkedIn has become a, engine for me, if I show you the, content engine that I was talking about, generates views, impression, and traffic for me on autopilot without spending. You see, in last 5 months, right, I put a filter. In last 5 months, I've generated over 117 million views. 117 million views without me spending a lot of time. It is the same process, the same videos that I post on Instagram, same videos I post on, LinkedIn as well, right? And you see there is a video that has crossed 8 million. There is a video, if I show, that it has crossed 5 million, right? And interestingly, now you know my secret. Now you
was spotted on the streets of London.
not
But the
even
real
shot this
story
video.
behind it will shock you. Here's what happened. Samsung took over an entire London street to launch their Galaxy Z Fold 6, and they didn't hold back. The big attention grabber, a
And
giant red London bus saw folded at a
These are not vanity metrics, right? Now, some of you might say that, Uttam, views and all are great, but I don't think, like, what will I do of view, right? Not, not exciting for me, or no, I don't find it valuable, right? Some of you might say it. But you know what? It has not been vanity. What it has done, the engine that I built for content and built, generated 117 million views. What it did for me in the last couple of months, I've generated almost 18 clients and, consultation calls, right? It has translated because people reached out to me. Because when you put yourself out there, whether you write in text or videos, right, people see you as an expert. People you see you as a thought leader and an industry expert, and they reach out to you that, something, can you do it for me as well, right? So people reach out to me. 18 brands came to me, and I got 6 speaking opportunities, 4 at a corporate and 2 at a university, right? How many of you would want to have some sort of opportunities like that for yourself? How many of you would want to do that, right? And you know what? I get it. I get it. People like you or me, the reason that we always gave to ourselves was we don't have a lot of time, we are not comfortable on camera, and we just can't do it. Those are the reasons we always gave to ourselves. Now you can't do that. Now it is just criminal for you to give yourself that excuse. I gave it to myself for some time, and then I realized it. It is criminal for you to do it, because now there is a help. There is an AI process that you can build, right? So that's content business, right? I was talking about, right? That first you identify your target audience, second you optimize your profile, and I told you, like, what are the sections that you need to optimize. You can go deeper into that. And the third thing is you start creating content with AI, right? You build a process, right? And along with starting creating content, what you can do is other, right? Content creation process will also take some time for you to get results. Along with that, what you can do is you can start to reach out to people, right? On LinkedIn, as I told, like, LinkedIn is a place where decision maker hang out. How do I reach out to people on LinkedIn, Uttam? How do I find people? Let me show that as well, right? I hope you are with me, guys. I hope you are with me. Drop yes in the chat if you are with me. I hope I'm not going too fast also. If it is fast, drop fast in the chat. If it is perfect, drop perfect in the chat. If it is slow, drop slow in the chat. Perfect. Oh, few people are saying slow. Okay, okay. But I think 70%, 80% people said perfect. So I'll take that as well. So the fourth step was you can reach out to people as well. And how do you find? The first step was finding your target audience. How do you find target audience and search just them? Say, for example, I told I want to work with people who have built an AI product and who are the founders. I want to speak to them. I can use something called Boolean search, right? You come to LinkedIn search and you put inverted comma, and I'll write founder. I'll put inverted comma close, and then in capitals I'll write and then I'll write inverted comma begin, and I'll write AI. Then I'll put a search. Now imagine what it will do. Now, if I go to people, it has helped me find all the founders who have on their headline have a founder, plus they have AI on their headline. These are all the founders. Now imagine I can go, as I told, like I charge, premium from the clients, and I feel like people, brands based out of US can pay well, or UK, abroad. So I'll put a United States filter, or if I just want to work. So now I'm able to find founders who have founder in their headline, who have AI in their headline, and who are also based out of United States. Right? How cool is that? How cool is that? Drop cool in the chat if that is cool. Right? Drop cool in the chat if that is cool. If that's how you find. For example, I want to find sales managers, right? Sales manager working in SaaS, or I'll use the other way, right? I'll write sales manager, and for now I'll write AI, right? Let's see what comes. I'll put there are 50,000 people, right? United States is already, I can go to filters and I can add more, and I can play around with more filters as well, right? For example, I want to add, school, university, industry, where they're coming from, the language do they speak, all these things I can play around. Say, for example, I only want to reach out to people having sales development representative or enterprise account executive, and I search, right? Now I'll get all these people who are into sales, right? You can see senior sales recruiter, sales manager, and SVP sales, right? I've got all these sales people, right? Powerful, isn't it, folks? Powerful. Now you can imagine like how you can turn LinkedIn into a cash cow, into your gold mine, and instead of just sleeping on it, you can utilize it to find a lot of opportunities. I've not gone very deep into LinkedIn, or else it will become a LinkedIn mastery session, but still you get the point, right? You got the 4-step LinkedIn blueprint, right? Identify your target audience, optimize your LinkedIn profile, start creating content using AI, and reach out to people as well. And if you do that, don't you think you will be able to find 3 clients, 4 consultation, just even pro bono to get started? Don't you think you can do that? Obviously you can, for sure. Like that's why I said, like, start small, just 2, 3, 4, very doable. You reach out to 50 people. Now I also told you how to find people. You reach out to 50 people. Don't you think like 5 people will talk to you? They will, right? So that's that. Other way, the first one is how to find client. The next one is through LinkedIn. Second way is doing cold emailing. You can outreach and find people through cold emailing. Now you might be like, Uttam, I know cold emailing, right? You don't. What I will tell you quickly, a hacky way to do cold emailing. Now, what if you want to find emails of people that you don't know or don't have email? You can use a tool called hunter.io, or you can use a tool called snow.io. Take a note of it. You can use a tool called hunter.io. You can use a tool called snow.io to find emails of people, right? So for example, like, I can show hunter.io. You can find emails of founders, decision makers, and, it's a very, very powerful tool. It has like, how do you, email finder, email verifier. You can do that, right? And or you can use snow.io as well, right? Now, how many of you think like you can find emails, but you don't have time to reach out to people, you can't follow up with them, right? What if I can tell you and give you a tool which can automate this whole process, this outreach process? Do you want to know that? Do you want to know that? Obviously it will save time and you would want to know that, right? So the tool that I use and you can use is, you can automate the entire process by using a tool called Lemlist or Instantly.io. Lemlist or Instantly.io, you can take a screenshot of it, or you can just take a note, right? Lemlist or Instantly.io. And the third thing you can do to find clients is you can join online communities. You can join online communities where your target audience is, where people who could potentially be your customers are there, right? Automation tool you missed, take a screenshot. The tool is Lemlist, lemlist.com, right? Lemlist.com. or Lemlist. This is the tool, Lemlist, or you go to instantly.ai, I think. Yeah, instantly.ai, right? So that's that, Lemlist and Instantly. And the third thing that you can do to find clients is join the online communities where your target audience or group is there, right? For example, if I want to work with founders and SaaS company people who are into SaaS companies, I can join online communities. Now, you might ask me the question that Uttam, where do I find online communities, right? One is obviously now you have become part of Outskill community, which has a very diverse crowd, extremely high quality people, and that's why we push you to network and you put yourself out there. There is another way to find online communities. One of my favorite platform is called Skool, right? SKOOL.com, school.com, right? You come on this platform and there are hundreds of free and paid communities out there which you can join, which are relevant to the business that you do. Say, for example, you come to Discover communities and you can search for, say, for example, I say AI. I can see so many AI communities. Some are paid, some are free. I can join as well. Or if I want to, just connect with SaaS people, SaaS Academy, Larry SaaS. There are multiple, right? There are free and paid communities, all these, right? SaaS, Classy Business Circle, all of that, right? Folks, has this information to find clients has been helpful? Drop yes in the chat if it has been helpful and if it has been worth your time, right? Awesome, awesome, brilliant, amazing. Let me drink some water. I've been just high on my energy. Amazing. Cool. Now, the question with which we started this session, can you see the possibilities of making money with AI? You had the skills, but I think like you didn't have clarity whether you can make money or monetize or use it or not. Can you see? Has your perspective changed? Can you see the possibility of making? I want to see how many of you, believe that, how many of your perspective has changed and eyes have opened, and now you see that, it has potential. Amazing, amazing. I love that. Brilliant. Now, with these opportunities, you know what? It is as real as it can be. Now, with these opportunities that I've told and the hacks that I've told, you can get to your $5,000 or $10,000 every month using AI. I'm not even kidding. There are kids, 19-year, 20-year, 21-year old, who are doing that. You people are much more experienced. You have industry experience, managerial leadership experience to manage bigger processes, bigger things as well, right? Why can't you do that? Definitely you can, right? For sure.